thread, Ted. Today I'm going to show you how to sew a cute little reindeer. It's great to have different sewing skills. This one is a little badge that you can wear or put on like a backpack or a handbag. And this one is an adorable little Christmas ornament. Now we're going to be making this today, but I'll talk about this one as well. It's a very similar process. And below I'm going to put a pattern for you. But again, you should be able to make up your own pattern because the shapes are really quite basic. So come on now, let's take a look and see how they're made. Okay, so to make our little reindeer, we're going to make a badge today. So this is the ornament version, but we're going to make the badge, and I'll talk a little bit about the ornament at the end. You will need some brown felt, like this, some darker brown or black felt, some little black bits for the eyes, a little red bit, and a little white or cream piece of felt. Now I'm going to put below a pattern of this, but to be honest, you remember the bunnies we did before? It's really just a circle, some ears, you know, oh, also you'll need a little bit of stuffing. You know, so basically basic shape. So you might be able to cut this yourself without using the actual pattern. Now I've got 3 sets of needles here just to save a bit of time. It's a bit overkill. You don't need 3 sets of needles to get this sewing, but you know, we're just trying to save a little bit of time so that whilst we get ahead. So the first thing we're going to do is put the face on. So I've got my yellow thread. It's good to use embroidery thread for the white thread. It's good to use embroidery thread because that makes the eyes stand out more. And you firstly tie a little hole, so you wrap it around your finger. You lift it off and you push this under and through. Now you try and get the knot as close to the end as possible by pushing it like so, or you can just trim it. And there you have your little knot. I'm going to do 2 knots because I like 2 knots, but you don't really need to do that. Right, then you take your needle, and I'm going to put 3 little stitches on this. 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So hopefully you can see that. We're in my office today rather than where I normally film, so the lighting's a bit different. So 1 stitch. Oh, the needle's a bit tricky. Here we go, like so. Then I'm going to put another little one in, so you come in from underneath, push it all the way up like so, and pull. And this time you go from the top down. Now I've got some great videos showing you the different stitches, running stitch, back stitch, that kind of thing. I'll link those as well below and you can take a look at those. Here we go. Now I'm going to go from underneath. You have to guess a little bit to find the right spot. So you might have to push it through a few times to find the spot you like, yeah? So I'm practiced, so it's a bit easier for me. Like so. And push it through. Now you can glue this if you want. You just need good fabric glue. In fact, here's a good brand. I love this brand. It's called Anita's Tacky Glue. This is really good for gluing this kind of stuff. I can again put links down below, but remind me to do it if I forget. Then you take your little black pieces. So this is tiny, tiny. Now I found it really hard to cut these out, so you might have to have a couple of goes of cutting because it is a bit fiddly. And you put your eye just next to sort of the mouth part, hold it, and then you push from underneath. Again, you have to find, oh, wrong bit there, that'll do. And you pull it, and you kind of just arrange that and make that little sort of shiny bit of the eye. I think this looks so sweet. Look at that, that looks nice, doesn't it? Now you get the other one, place it on the other side. And again, you take your needle and you push from underneath up. And then you kind of put the eye from the top down. Oh, isn't that cute already? Can you see that? Right, now you need to tie off your thread. So the way I do that is I push it underneath this loose bit, like so, make a loop. Can you see that? And then I just go through the loop again. It's kind of like knotting it off, like that. Make a little knot. And you can do that again just to be safe. Push it through and loop through it. Here we go. So that. Now I'm finished with the white thread. I'm going to put that aside. Now I'm going to get my red thread and I'm going to make a little knot. Should have made the knots before actually. Again, you can glue this bit on if you want, it might be easier. You can glue the black eyes on too, but I quite like that little white piece there. So put it in place, hold it, come from the back, just one little stitch into the middle of the nose, like that. Don't pull it too tight, don't make it too big. Like this. There we go, hold it in place, yeah. Turn it around. And again, I'm just going to run this thread behind this white piece and knot it. There we go. That should do. And that's your beginning of your face ready. So now you need to bring these together and start sewing round. I'm actually going to maybe start, well, let's just knot this. Now I've got embroidery thread here. You don't need embroidery thread, you can use a normal thread for this bit, but it's totally up to you. Now you need to think about where your ears will go. I'm going to put them roughly in place. They'll probably fall out again whilst I'm sewing. And just check that you're happy. So if you notice with that one, I've put them quite far to the side, but this is my little brooch, so I'm quite happy to go them a bit higher. And I'm going to start sewing this way around and leave the bottom open because I think that'll be easier for stuffing. So get one piece, one piece, put your needle in. The reason why you're only getting one piece is because you want your little knot to be on the inside. So now you've got this one piece done. You line it up like so. Now you make sure all your pieces are quite neat. I think that will do, like so. And then you do a running stitch. So running stitch means down and up, down and up. So I'm going to go down like so. And I'm going to come in from underneath. You might have to turn it around and have a look if that's easier for you. But coming up. And you go down from the top. And, oopsie. And pull. And you go from the bottom. And as you're going up and down, you're kind of sewing the ears and the antlers in place. Down. And up. Now, if you're finding this a bit fiddly, maybe a grown-up can help you do that bit, or maybe they can hold it whilst you do the sewing. Or you could maybe try gluing everything in place, but I think that might end up a bit messy. I quite like a little sewing project. And it's so cute to give sewing a go, and I think the finish of sewing looks really nice. Here we go. So it's important when you cut these out that you leave enough that you can pop inside your head so that the sewing catches it. Okay, so time to stuff a little bit. Now this is actually an old pillow that I've opened up and that we now use for stuffing projects. Might need a bit more. Let's get a little more. Here we go. Stuff it in. And then you sew it all the way around. Oopsie. Need to make sure I don't knot my string. Isn't that adorable? Now we've finished the little face. Now we need to sew the needle on the back. So we'll turn it round like so. I'm just going to make sure, I'm just going to look, see that? I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to just go back and tighten the string. So I've gone on it like a back stitch, pulling it through. I'm going to get that loop and do like a tiny knot. Okay, so that means it's sort of tightened a bit like a little knot. Now I'm going to bring the needle in about the middle. Did you see that? I'm just pushing it through. You could really sew on your safety pin first, but I'm going to put it in place, and now I'm going to just catch it. I should probably of course started off at one end of the safety pin, so not gone to the middle, but you need to make sure you just kind of catch it a few times. I don't know if my needle will go through the top of the pin. Let's see. Just going to see if I can catch this bit, but I'm not sure if it will fit. Might do. I'm really just securing the needle in place. You can of course get those little needles that are just made for badges and for crafting, but I didn't have any of those, so I'm just using an ordinary needle, you know, an ordinary pin. So now I'm going to bring my needle all the way to the back, like so, and again loop it through this bit, like so. And the reason I've left my needle open whilst I've been sewing it is to make sure I don't sew it the wrong way around. So maybe one more time, I'm gonna loop it round, and then I'm gonna go through the loop this time to kind of create that little knot. Yeah, so we've talked about knotting it before, like this. Do another one, another little knot, so push it through, and then before you pull it through, you just push it through the loop, and that creates a little knot. And then you just take the needle, because I've got two knots there already. I'm going to push it here. I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to give it a little pull. Don't cut into your fabric, just cut the string. Give it a little wiggle, and there you have your seriously cute little Rudolph badge that you can wear. Isn't that adorable? Now on this one, just so you can see the difference, there's a body, so I basically created the body separately, and there's a pattern for it. I sewed the body first, and then I pushed it in before sewing round. And obviously again with this one, you have to make sure that when you go around the top, you also add a little you know, little hanging loop. And then all I did was glue a little, I should have sewn it on, but I forgot, so I did it at the end. I glued on a little white spot for a little tail, and then I tied and knotted round a bell. And isn't that sweet? You could of course have a go at seeing if you can put a little, what's it called, a little bow at the top or a little bow at the bottom. So really just experiment and make this your own. So a little badge, a little Christmas ornament, a 2-for-1 craft. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, add this to your playlist, and of course we'll see you here again soon. Bye.